Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again. It's been a little while since I've done a review. Things have been incredibly busy lately with work and I guess the lockdown we've had here due to a massive upswing that we had in COVID cases for a short period of time. So been a lot of like working from home and watching the kids at the same exact time because their daycares are closed, all that kind of stuff. So hasn't been a whole lot of time to get reviews done. So finally found some time and thought I'd get into a bit of a random, lesser seen MRE menu today. So what we've got in front of us is menu 24, which is chicken with salsa. And there's a few interesting things with this particular menu. This is from 2008, and this is the first year that the United States had this sort of new MRE bag design. Before that, it would have been the slightly lighter in color, tan sort of, I guess tan, what's the word I'm looking for, type style bag. And I don't really have one actually on me. I should have actually brought one up, I suppose. But yeah, it's a completely different look. It's a lot cleaner. And yeah, so this is the first year this particular menu was actually menu number 24. Like I said, this is 2008 for this particular menu right here. And this is actually the last year that they used this particular menu. And it was, I believe, replaced by buffalo chicken after that point for a few years, and then went on to Southwest beef and beans, I believe, which is probably my favorite MRE menu. This particular menu, I think, first showed up in 1998 when it was actually menu number 22, and that was the year that the US MREs had gone from 20 menus back in 97 to all of a sudden the, what we call, I guess, normal, standard 24 menus now today. So back in 1998, when it was first introduced, it was actually menu number 22. And then in 1999, it switched to menu number 7, and that's the way it stayed until 2007. And then the one final year, we get menu 24. So this is a 13-year-old MRE at this point, but it seems to be in fairly good shape. So I guess all we can do now is open it up and see what kind of contents we have. Here you go, guys. Everything looks to be in good shape so far, I suppose, but we'll have a look inside at the contents. One thing I will say is that this particular menu has only been reviewed once, meaning chicken with salsa menu 24, and that review's about 10 years old. It was only just a simple sort of unboxing, just showing what the contents are, not actually trying it out. So this is the first full review of this particular menu. There are many reviews of this particular menu when it was menu number 7. But yeah, this will be the first full review of it being menu 24. So the first thing we have, obviously, is our main seasoned white meat strips, chopped in form with chunky salsa. Just try to use as many words as they possibly can. And 825 is the date code. That's one less digit than I'm used to seeing for those date codes. That could mean just the 25th day of 2008, but we'll check to see if there's anything different after that. Got ourselves an FRH and a US beverage bag. Got ourselves a fried rice, and this one actually does have a more verifiable date, so it's 8223, so it's the 223rd day of 2008. What we could possibly guess is that maybe this here isn't a U, it's a 0, so that would make that the 250th day of 2008, but that's just my guess. We got a Mocha cappuccino instant powder. As those of you who've watched my reviews for a long time know, I don't like coffee, so I will not be mixing that up. Got a wheat snack bread. Got the old style landscape oriented cheese spread with jalapenos. Got a packet of peanut M&Ms. I don't know what 13-year-old peanut M&Ms are going to be like, but we'll give them a try. Got a packet of Patriotic sugar cookies. We'll see if these aren't just like a bag full of dust at this point. Standard MRE spoon. And our accessory kit, which we'll open up now. So we got a packet of lemon iced tea, so I'll certainly be mixing that up. Moist towelette, toilet paper. Iodized salt, which we'll probably have to use for the FRH because it's 13 years old at this point, and I doubt if it'll sort of get really, really hot on its own. Got ourselves a green packet of matches, red tip. white chiclet gum, and a green glass bottle of Tabasco. And it seems like most of it's in there. And there's no sort of weird kind of smell coming off the accessory packet to sort of make one believe that it, leaked at some point or whatever. So, yeah, this actually might be okay, even though it's 13 years old. Everything seems to be in the shape that it should be in at this point. So yeah, guys, this is everything laid out for menu number 24, chicken with salsa. Guess we'll get this trayed up now, and we'll start giving stuff a try. Hey guys, while we're letting the rice and the main heat up, just wanted to show you a new item I got. It's a new drinking vessel for the channel that I thought was pretty cool. It's from a company called Lucky Shot, and it's got a 308 bullet embedded into it. I thought that goes fairly well with the context of military rations. So yeah, this is what I'll be trying to use from now on. And the main and stuff should be ready soon. Alright, there you go, guys. That's the entire meal. He plated up. We got our Patriotic cookies and our fried rice and our wheat snack bread and jalapeno cheese. Got our iced tea, peanut M&Ms, spoon, and our chicken with salsa. I gotta say, this, not so much the rice, but the main is really piping hot. I was quite surprised, actually, by how well that FRH kicked off. Now, I did throw the entire salt packet in there and used warm water instead of cold. And I hadn't completely gotten it enclosed and popped into a box and tipped over on its side before it was actually almost too hot to the touch. So that one actually worked out pretty well. Quite surprised by that. So yeah, our jalapeno cheese spread. It's looking a little dark, but not too bad. There's a little bit of a musty smell coming off of the cookies, and that wheat snack bread is just a little hard, but we'll give everything a try and see how it is. I think the first thing we'll do is dive into this main. So you've got a very chunky looking kind of salsa, huge pieces of tomato, and green pepper, and there's obviously some onion in there, a little bit of cilantro, and the chicken is very hard to the touch. You can tell it's processed. But it's a bit darker than I anticipated, actually, so I don't know if that's just from oxidization, or if that's just they use a bit more sort of thigh meat instead of just pure, although it says white meat. But anyway, it's a little darkish. So yeah, we'll give this a smell first, see if it's not like too metallic or tinny, and then maybe we'll give it a try. It's surprisingly not that bad. It's not overly metallic. It's not something I'm going to want to probably dive back into and have more of, but I'm actually surprised that it was in as good shape as it actually is. The sugar cookies and the wheat snack bread kind of made me wonder if this has not been stored well. I've had this one for maybe a year or two, I suppose. I don't know. So I have no idea how it was stored, obviously, before I got it. And I don't quite remember who I actually got this from. It's someone in the ration community, but I can't quite place... Can't quite put my finger on who it's coming from now, so I do apologize. Many of you who are watching this know, oh yeah, I'm the one who sent you that. Just let me know and I'll thank you properly. Yeah, not very spicy, but there is just a little sort of hint of spice near the end. It's got a little bit of a tang kind of to it. I think if this was a purely fresh menu, this actually would have been very, very enjoyable. Let's try out the rice now. I'm someone who usually never particularly enjoys MRE fried rice, and I can only imagine that 13-year-old dry MRE fried rice isn't going to be that great. But anyway, we'll give it a try. Yeah, it's not good. It didn't heat up well, not like the main did. So that, first of all, doesn't help it because it stays really, really dry. There's just a weird aftertaste I'm getting from it that's just not pleasant at all. Like I said, even getting, fried rice like this that's fairly fresh in the US MRE, from one that's only 4 or 5 years old, I'm still not a huge fan of it. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna go back and try that. Let's cleanse the palate a little bit and try out our iced tea. And as always, that is perfect. I absolutely love the lemon iced tea that they used to be able to get in these MREs. So yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, there's no coffee in this particular MRE because it came with a mocha cappuccino, but I'm not mixing that up because I don't drink coffee, so I have no interest in it. Let's try out our wheat snack bread on its own first, before we possibly try some of that cheese. This is very dry and dense. Let's just see what it's like on its own. It's not that bad, actually. The smell, it tastes better than it smells. It's one way to put it. But yeah, it's just horribly, horribly dry. Let's see if this cheese spread is actually edible or not. So we've got jalapeno cheese spread here, guys. It's a little bit dark and a little bit dried out, but let's give it a try. That was surprisingly delicious. The jalapeno cheese spread is perfect. It tastes just as good as any sort of brand new fresh one you would get. I'm rather surprised by that, especially based on the darkness of it, where it's oxidized a little tiny bit. But yeah, there's no sort of rancidity from it whatsoever. And I tell you, it brings out the wheat snack bread. It makes the wheat snack bread taste better, even though it's a bit dry. And you put it past your mind that it's 13 years old and it shouldn't taste good. But yeah, I'm quite surprised by that. That is fantastic. Okay, last thing we got left, guys, is our desserts, I suppose. I'm gonna leave the Patriotic cookies till last because they really don't smell good. So I don't want to ruin the possibility of these M&Ms actually being sensible and edible. So yeah, they look like they're in great shape. There's not even any sort of like mild fat separation, like a little bit of sort of caked up white residue on the outside of these. They're not cracked and they smell fine. So yeah, let's give them a try. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Peanut M&Ms. I would have just assumed that I literally just went to the store and bought these today. They are amazing. Oh yeah. Usually sometimes if it's, it's in just a regular commercial packaging, sometimes it doesn't always hold up well. But yeah, that's perfect for a, 13-year-old pack of peanut M&Ms. Now, I hate to be negative with my sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, but we'll try these Patriotic cookies next and hope and pray they're not horribly rancid, but I do get the feeling that they possibly are. They don't even, like, to touch them, they feel a little strange as well. But to be patriotic, we have a few sort of, random shapes in here. We've got Lady Liberty, I guess, and the US flag. We've got some chunks of, Uncle Sam's hat, and I guess the torch from the Statue of Liberty, and some sort of eagle's wings. So yeah, I'm surprised actually how good a shape these are in. Sometimes you can get some of these that are only a few years old, and they're just turned to dust and powder. So yeah, let's try a intact Statue of Liberty head, see what that's like. I tell you, what's the best way to put this? These are just, like, literally, they just stepped over the line of being rancid. The smell on them is really, really bad. But they're still nice and crisp. They haven't gotten kind of stale and damp, I suppose. The first few chews aren't that bad, and then you're sort of lulled into a sense of security because then the sweetness comes in, and I'm like, oh, okay, this might be okay. But then all of a sudden, no, the rancidity from the oils, I guess maybe from the shortening or whatever that's in the cookies, it really shines through them, and you start getting just on the edge of that old books kind of flavor. Not enough to like make your tongue or your lips or your gums sort of numb or burny, but it's just on that edge of not quite enjoyable enough, which is a shame because they're in great shape. I tell you, like I said earlier in the review, I think if this was a brand new fresh ration, this would be an amazing overall menu. I think you can get past the rice if it's at least fresh enough. Mix it in with the main itself. That main is incredibly tasty and fairly good quality for a US MRE main. And yeah, who doesn't love getting jalapeno cheese spread? And probably my favorite commercial item to get in the US MRE is always the peanut M&Ms. And when they're perfect, they are, they're great. And these ones, are exactly that. And obviously, lemon iced tea, perfect. I always enjoy it when I get it. So yeah, guys, this has been a menu 24, chicken with salsa, US MRE from 2008. And wasn't quite sure how this would turn out. But I would say this is actually better than I expected, based on the smells I was getting. And obviously wondering, you know, what age had done to this. So this has actually been more of a positive review than I anticipated. So that's great. So yeah, not a whole lot else to say, guys. I'd like to thank you all for stopping by. I'm going to hopefully try to get some more reviews done in a more timely fashion instead of, it's been what 2 months or 3 months almost since my last review. So hopefully there's not that big of a hiatus between this review coming out and the next one coming out. So hope you all have a good one, guys. Thanks for stopping by, and see you around.